KIS is a great fit for our family. My son finds himself challenged in his French class. He's being challenged in ways that he wasn't being challenged, I think, back home. And he's growing and gaining confidence from the experience. One of the things that surprised me about KIS was the countless ways that the faculty and the staff were reaching out to make our transition workable and a positive experience. After about 3 months, I looked back and realized there were so many little pointers and tips in conversations, and they helped. Then another surprise was how open and prepared folks here were to embrace a 504 plan that we had brought into the school system here. We come from the public school system back in the U.S. in Idaho, and I had to push pretty hard just to make sure that my daughter was getting her needs met in class. All of those issues were just addressed openly and I want to say progressively, but proactively as soon as we came in. So it's been seamless, and Lindsay loves it here. Should I use her name?
Totally fine. That's fine.
Another surprise was the creative use of dance and choreography in the curriculum. My kiddos were coming home early on with assignments that had them singing and dancing with groups of other students, recording themselves and taking it in and sharing back at school. This helped them make friends. It helped them move and work through maybe some culture shock. I thought it was pure genius. I'd recommend KIS to other families because having gone through this myself, I have faith that the faculty and staff here are going to do everything they can to make you feel like you belong and to build a sense of community. The counselors are there finding out about our family right away, and I'm sure they would do that for other families. The teachers have built warm, friendly relationships with the kids so that they have a positive foundation to build their learning experience on. And then the teachers communicate regularly with the parents, with us. I know that they would do that with other parents. So with all of this in place, I don't see how a family could go wrong here. Okay, so one of the things that makes our family unique is that this is our first long-term overseas assignment. So we were facing issues of, how do you transition into a whole new culture? We were invited, or I was invited to attend a counselor's coffee, which was off-site, and many other parents joined. So I got a chance to sit and socialize with other parents while having the counselors in the mix and sort of directing conversation. And I quickly found out about programs and things going on at the school that would help us. And that's where I learned about the cross-culture training program that I went to later on, a few weeks later, and really, I was really surprised by how well prepared the counselors were for the challenges that we would be facing before I even knew that I would be facing these challenges. I learned about something called a 6-week dip, and sure enough, that's about where it hit, where we came in all excited to the new culture, and then we were like, oh my gosh, this is very hard, and then we start to pick right back up. And so that counseling session really helped me understand what context we were in and how I could help my family move through it. Right? So the Third Culture Kids Workshop was designed by the staff here, the counseling staff, to help families understand what it means to raise children in cultures that are different from the ones that their parents are rooted in. And I learned that there are great strengths that come from this experience for our kids, that they are bridges in the communities that they find themselves in later on, because they understand what it is to be here and there, and they know ways to improve. You know, communities are always looking for ways to change and grow, and these kids have ideas. I also learned that they face particular hardships. There's a grief that is that has to be embraced with the loss of culture, and I hadn't realized that at all, and that was touching. I also learned that there's ways to move in and out of a community well, to summarize relationships, to reach out and tie up loose ends, and then start to look ahead towards the opportunities and challenges of the new place you may be going. Those are the types of transitions these third culture kids are facing. And with training like this that I got, I could understand what my kids might be going through and what their friends might be going through. And I just thought it was exciting and really empowering. Well, you know, another thing that I would like to share about KIS is how impressed I am with not just the staff and the teachers and everything, it's even the parents. I have been so openly received, and my children are so openly received by the other parents and their families. It's been amazing. My daughter's, she brought home friends the very first week she was here. I've been working actively with the PTO and communicating with people with my broken Korean, and they reach out. I've learned so much about how different cultures, people from different cultures, can blend and put together a community that makes learning possible and makes it possible for people to connect. It's been really wonderful.
And
Yeah. We did a little bit of shopping for other schools. Of course, the company that my husband works for gave us a few to select from, and KIS was the most progressive, the most open-minded, and gave our family an opportunity to experience what I had wanted them to have back home, but couldn't quite find. And so that's why we chose KIS.